Let's go back to Bergamo, because I think we've got Martin Keown and Rio Ferdinand waiting to give us the benefit.
How's his butterflies? That's the most important
the
thing.
butterflies settle down, Martin.
Yeah, they did. It got a bit hairy when the penalty came round, but Raya was absolutely magnificent. That was obviously a major moment in the game. We thought the guy up front was absolutely magnificent, the striker. Take nothing away from him. He probably should have put the follow-up away. I think he was going safe. But Arsenal were pretty pleased tonight. They caused a lot of problems for Arsenal. It's quite complex the way they play tactically. So I think the boys should be proud, really, of coming away with a result away from home. Not too many teams winning away from home or getting anything tonight in Europe. So they'll be pleased.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. And when you think, we've just been discussing Barca slipping up Rio in Monaco, it looks, I suppose, in the rounds, a better and better point when you look at it in the context of all of that.
Yeah, well, these are the Europa League champions, so they won that, and then they had a fantastic end to their season. And they're a team that can beat some very good teams. Liverpool, Bayer Leverkusen, the way that they press, and Martin alluded to there, that the formation and the way that they're kind of structured, it does cause problems to teams. But I thought today, it's a fairly even game. I would say probably Atalanta will be the ones probably a little bit more disappointed because they had that penalty. But Arsenal are able to roll their sleeves up now and go anywhere. Not long ago we were saying that Arsenal could go to away grounds and they get put away by teams because they can't roll their sleeves up. Now they've got two centre-backs, they've got a goalkeeper now that are just so hard to play against. And you've got Ben White doing his bit, Timbers now coming, and they're a team also when you're changing players and making substitutions, the level doesn't drop really. So
that was significant.
And that shows there's a depth to this team, but there's also a mindset now that makes them a really a big threat, I think.
Calafiori looked really impressive coming on. He walked past it. He's a huge guy, isn't he? Again, it's like land of the giants now again at Arsenal. It's kind of like going back to their original DNA under Wenger, where it was tough, hard to beat, and I think you relied upon those players tonight. Wasn't sure about Jesus down the middle, wasn't really secure in possession. Havertz and him were sort of switching that role. So I think it looked better with the substitutes that were made.
Guys, just when you think back to your own experience as a player in the Champions League, and actually it takes a bit of time, you know, in terms of having that experience, winning those games, actually going to a place like that and getting a point. It's actually a great point. I think for the teams we played with, we would have got, obviously you want to win. But a point is actually a good point away from home in Europe. And I think Arsenal also need to learn that. You don't have to win every game. You know, take a point when you can against a good side.
I think this is part of their education. That's the way I'd be looking at it if I was Arsenal, because they are inexperienced at this level. They haven't really shown their teeth properly in this competition to say that we are one of the big boys. But I think it is, like you say, it's stepping stones, and it's building the confidence and putting those foundations in place and just chalking things like they come into a place like this. We didn't get beat, we kept a clean sheet, and finding and searching those positives they can take and,
it's a learning
continue
process,
the momentum.
You have to go through that, you know, to learn as a group, and you draw off one another. You're looking around the dressing room. We were just chatting there to Declan about Martinelli, no goal in 17 games now. You know, is he going to spread that love, that leadership that you need? You know, you build towards something special, but you get, don't you? You've got to make those baby steps. You've got to come here and show the rest of Europe that you can get a result. People know they've beaten Marseille, Liverpool, the way they dispatched teams last season with a number of changes to that 11, by the way, and they still look a really good outfit at Atalanta.
I think people like Jorginho are vitally important as well. He's had his hands on this trophy. He's experienced. He's like a bit of a manager on the pitch for Arteta, and he's someone in the change room who's got a big influence. And I think the words, the body language of someone like him go a long way as well.
Boys, it's Macca. I just wanted to know, what would they like going forward today? Do they really miss Ødegaard? We know how strong they are at the back. Are they going to score enough goals?
I think that'll be my concern at the weekend. I think the creativity, I think that was something that you look at today. I think the manager said it in his post-game comments. A bit sloppy, ball retention wasn't where he'd want it to be, and that will have to improve, and they have to be more clinical and decisive when they get that one or two opportunities, because let's face it, City aren't going to give them 5-6 opportunities. I'll be surprised if they get that. Today, Martinelli had a really good chance and wasn't composed enough. They're areas where they'll have to clean up their act if they're going to get anything out of the game against Man City.
Ødegaard is without doubt a big loss, because he kind of sets everything going. He runs out into that pocket for Saka, and it kind of opens up the space for him. He can feed him. Havertz was a little bit fixed tonight. Wasn't moving in the same way. They try to drop him in and out. I don't think that works. I think you've got to have an out-and-out striker. And maybe it's Trossard maybe comes in at the weekend to fulfil that role, although maybe Martinelli now's position's in question because, as I say, in front of goal, he just needs a little bit more composure. But I think the manager will stick with him, to be fair.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Raheem Sterling's involved, of course, against his old team. Boys, thank you very much.
Cheers,
Appreciate
boys.
it. I know it's late
Safe
out there
journey.
in northern Italy. Look after yourselves, Martin. Get Rio to look after you.
Guys.